is 7:05, and typically I would be beginning my work day. I'd be finishing up charging right over there, but I've got this going on. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a foot-long crack in the windshield after me getting it fixed, after me being advised to get it fixed through Safelite. And right after I had it done, during having it done, it actually grew an inch. And then that was about a month to 6 weeks ago, and now there's a full-blown other little fractal coming off of there. Not little, it's like a foot long. And I am, at least temporarily, strangely, deactivated from Uber, because of a background check, but I expected it. I kind of felt and knew that it was going to take longer for some reason, foreboding reason, but caused me to, bemuse myself here. And if I was in a room, I'd be ruminating right now. Because I'd be thinking and overthinking about things. But I find it very strange that those incidents would happen within a 24-hour period, more so within like probably a 14-hour period. And just when I was trying to dig in and gear up for a lot of positive potential, so I'm headed down south to drop off some of the items I have, the few things I already downsized in preparation to this, and now I'm actually going to be dropping things off as if I'm having to transition, because that windshield is going to be, I'll be charged probably at least $1,000. I think the deductible is like $1,000, so I may have to set up payments or something like that if I continue to drive, doing the same crazy thing, renting from Hertz. But I very much doubt I'll be driving another Tesla, because most of the Teslas, from what I have put together, have been sold. So what I may be doing now is, I was like, what was that? I guess it's decided to use voice directions. So I'm just leaving Elk Grove right now. About to get on Highway 5 South, Interstate 5 South, and head down toward the Monterey Bay area. I saw it coming. I knew it in my from the recollection of past experiences that I've had doing this, that it wasn't going to happen in any foreseeable or fashionable way. But then again, that is something that you can kind of look at the tea leaves, right, and see what's going to be happening next. So being that this may be my last day up here doing this, because I'm also left without money in the bank, or any sort of money coming because I had to take out a $150 leverage loan through Uber Pro Card in order to pay for this thing for another week, and then they decided to deactivate me until further notice. So here I am. And it always happens in such a way, so I'm that fog looks nice though, the mist. But I'm headed down south, like I say, to put some of my things down there. Don't have much, just don't want to lose the little that I do have, and prep this vehicle up the best I can, that I don't have any funds to even get a vacuum, right? And try to do the best I can on that, and then start to transition into, going down south and staying down south there with my kid, my son, for the time being, transitioning and focusing on what I really want to do and what I have been wanting to do, but knowing that I can't necessarily do it broke, but with benefits. Let's see if those continue on with Trump in office, but continue on with my benefits and try to make something out of this. I foresaw this type of thing coming because it's happened so many times, so I got a big 5-pound container of protein to do protein fasting. I think I still have enough to buy water through Walmart and have Walmart deliver that, gallons of water, because I gotta have fresh water. And kick this thing off by going into a protein fast, an all protein fast, and use carnivore as a sort of backup. And I'm already in ketosis. I've been doing carnivore in preparation for this type of thing for the better part of 3 weeks now. Right. So I stopped posting on that on Rogue Beast Warrior, just because it was kind of banal and boring to put every day. I've already been through this. I've already documented it. That is doing carnivore, the results, right? And I broke my ketosis fast a few times. That's what it's looking like. Ain't no freedom that you really feel until you're down and out. You're down and out. And I think some people get addicted to both sides of that coin. Like Donald Trump and Elon Musk would be perfect. They're under a heavy attack. In a sense, they stay in this cathartic grief of being under attack, about to lose their ass, and then they are at the same time dualistically elated by the fact that when they're commanding their wins, they're winning. And I've been like that. I've felt like that in the past, until CPS came after me and took my driver's license, and false allegations and charges were placed on me, and I had to go decide, do I want to go on for another day or serve time in jail under false pretenses. And I'll tell you, it never really works out. anyone's favor unless they are under the disillusionment, the illusion of this dark triad. Right? So I've got it on autopilot, and we've got to be grateful for the little things that we do have. I had a decent rest last night, though I woke up more than a handful of times through the night. And yes, change must be in the air, and it doesn't always happen forthright, at least seemingly. And things are done in an intricate way that we can have an awareness of, sort of sixth sense about, but we aren't going to be able to think about that, especially on a day-to-day, That's a hazy looking sun over there, right? And today, I don't know if there would be any irony here, especially with the fact that so little is said, but it is the UFO hearing, the second big UFO hearings today. And we shall see what that yields. But as I said, apropos, I suppose, does anyone else feel like they are cattle or animals out to be slaughtered? Because there is that sort of foreboding feeling, right? And that gets into a whole other area that, I think it's, again, ironic, I don't know, but yesterday, through a glass darkly, the channel, he had Nathaniel Gillis on. It wasn't live. It was from a good month ago, and it was Nathaniel Gillis talking about how he's pretty much just had enough. I'm sure that it's a multifarious deal there. The reason why Nathaniel Gillis would quite possibly be done. There's always, like, there was a whole article about that, and I posted a link up, I believe, down on Esoteric Principles of Light in the community post, but there's a whole, or maybe I didn't, and I don't even have a reference to look this up, but it was a study on how humans can feel several different and have several different thoughts occurring at the same time, to where it's based on these percentages. And back to Nathaniel Gillis, what he says forthright is that he is looking around at his constituents, people that are supposedly rallying for the same cause, that is unveiling the mask of Wizard of Oz, the entities that are behind this age-long, since times of yore, and probably much further archaically and arcanely stretching back throughout history or historicity. That history which it has been burned and covered up, those libraries that have been burned with informations, and how there are these occult rituals occurring where people are acting like they are not bending to the summoning of these entities, of this singular force, as he refers to it, but in fact he's seen it permeate into his own work, cause some bemusement there, right? So he's talking about his constituents, people that he knows and works with, and the people who are supposed to be investigating this phenomenon. Are in fact doing occult rituals that are just falling right into the same pattern. Like, we want personal power, we want earthly and worldly provisions. We do a ritual based on this. The ritual is downplayed in society, in so-called modernity. Here we shop at these stores that use the colors and use the symbols, yet we very much and very closely follow an astrological grid, right? To where you'll even drive down some streets and I ended up right at Scorpio and Gemini a few months back, and that was creepy. But everything is set up in such a way where it's like, is this entity trying to write me into a dialogue as a narrative, as a storyline? Even this soliloquy that I go into right now that happens to be recorded, it's like this topographical view of a story, Is this a book? Is this what ChatGPT of the distant future is going to be like? Or maybe the not so distant future, where things actually come into multi-dimensional experience and there is an actual experiencer from a quantum realm that formulates some sort of story dialogue, fantastical concept or idea with events that may or may not have happened, and recombinates these mimetic codified number sequence into a real-time situation that sort of exists forever, in the forever now, right? And no matter how groundbreaking anything that I say or do seems to be to me, it never leads anywhere. The same idiots are in power, the same short-sighted people, the same people who are just given the gifts and think that their will to power is true, is real. They're dumb in that way. That Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, they're dumb in that way. They're chosen stupid. And when they try to be a little smarter, they end up on the fringe. And when they go even smarter and more real than that, they end up so far out on the fringe that here you go. Are you going to challenge the preset? But anyway, I'm kind of bored bantering along and talking. I've been up here over 7 months, over half a year. I have very little yield. I mean, I was able to raise my credit score back up a little bit, and that's going to sink back down after I'm thinking worst case scenario, but if I can get down here and drop some things off at my son's, and then suddenly I'm reactivated, I'm gonna push this thing out as far as I can. We're in that time where it's like, unless you get kicked off the horse and have to change, don't change a damn thing. Stay in it, And so that might buy me another week or two where I get some provisions, and I can make a couple payments to keep my credit going up, and then really try to do this thing correctly. you know, I really placed principles existentially that can be found existentially in other people as a willful hope, a Pangloss hope about people, about humanity. And I've found that conclusively, existentially, principles do not exist in the external world. So when I'm watching all this hoopla, I don't see purity being upheld. I don't see what used to be referred to as godly principles, but you know, I don't use that term within the esteem of principles on my own accord. God and godliness and the generic piety, as opposed to the sort of cryptic, even John Dee type of piety. Well, that's two different things there. So being accused by my enemies of being pietous, yeah, I'll take that as a compliment from a David Hume perspective. It has nothing to do with God, really. It has everything to do with reverence toward purity, which is what all of these people were studying and speculating on. And purity as an absolute, as a scientific method that doesn't require the terms of theology or secularism or eschatology, nor ontology, but can very much and very well be seen as purity as the liminal tie-in between everything, a glue, a force. The only thing that any condensates or constituents have in common, you know, it's kind of like a mother who got around amorously, lasciviously, and has 10 or 15 children from at least 4 to 6, maybe even 7 or 8 different fathers, and they have that X factor in common, that they are related back in a maternal sense to that whore of a mother.